quarter and then not again. Is he okay? Was that just limiting his minutes because?
No, because he was sore at halftime. They ruled him out, and he was sore from the other night. Just didn't feel like he could go in the second half, so they ruled him out.
Tyrese for the first 3 quarters and didn't shoot the ball especially well, but then the fourth quarter overtime, so he's going to get going. What do you think kind of changed?
I don't know. I think you're right. I think I looked down and I looked up one time and he had 36. I couldn't believe it because it felt like he had a ton of great looks that he just wasn't hitting. We went from 3, but 2 for 13. That's what it felt like. Felt like more than that, but he hung in there. I thought he did a heck of a job of navigating their length down the lane in the fourth and in the overtime. And there was some long athletes, a bunch of them down there. And Daniels obviously was draped on him, and he's one of the league's best defenders. So he had a lot to navigate there, and somehow he still did it. Yeah.
Thanks, sir.
So it had to be blue.
Yeah, I guess that's a little my favorite.
Blue bat.
Coach, we talked about you guys playing through adversity, and just what did you think of the boys tonight, especially to force that second overtime?
I think, it was more about perseverance than it was poise. But I think, when we didn't have poise or we made mistakes, we were able to move forward and made enough plays when it counted. We put ourselves in a position where, as did they, and you're just happy it went our way. But I thought it was a gritty game for our group, and that's a group of guys that just hasn't been in, games like that. It's a pretty young group we have out there.
And obviously to get to overtime, you guys are up 8, I believe, with 7 or so minutes to play. Just what did you notice about that last stretch in the fourth quarter that allowed Philly to sort of come back?
Well, we made mistakes. I think it started in the third quarter with all the fouling, and that's tough on us because it doesn't give us a chance to run. As I've said before, when if you're taking the ball to the net, you can still try to push the pace, but free throws are hard. And it affects your ability to defend too, aggressively. So we didn't rebound. We turned the ball over. Those two things usually for this group are, impact us in the most negative way. Obviously, because they can score off both those possessions, and but I thought we didn't get deflated, And again, the perseverance that the guys showed, when you feel like you've got the game, and then you're in another overtime, and you feel like you've got an advantage, and then you make some mistakes or they make some plays. So obviously, really, a good and important win for a young group of guys to come together. And Onyeka doesn't make a 3, but he does a lot of other really good things, and we don't get discouraged. I thought that was the biggest thing for us.
Obviously, Jalen with the big night, 41 points, career night for him. Mm-hmm. We always talk about how he's just continued to grow over this course of the season, but what did you see from him tonight that allowed him to be so productive?
I think he's doing the same things. He's making quick decisions, not hesitating to shoot the ball when he's open, which sets up a lot of other things. And I think when you talk to him, he'll notice his turnovers, because that's he's capable in those situations of making the right reads. But that's part of it. I think that's been the exciting thing about the things he's doing is that when he's made mistakes, he hasn't let it get to him. He's responded and adjusted. And that's the sign of a more mature player, when you're able to make adjustments during the game. So I know he's as happy as anyone about the win, because he's the guy that we're playing through most of the time late in the game. But when we do that, as I've said, it doesn't necessarily have to. We're trusting him to make a play, and I think that's the thing that he's embracing. And whether it's 30 points, 40 points, 20 points, it really doesn't matter. It's just what the game is providing.
Obviously, had a lot of guys come in and out of the rotation. rotation, just whether it's illness, injuries, how does this team's performance of being able to play together like this sort of set you guys up for long term?
Yeah, I don't want to be too melodramatic about it. I hope Luke isn't, sick and throwing up at halftime every game. But to your point, you can't. These are the experiences that lift you, and you can't generate them other than being in these situations. So it's nice to find that, make a lot of mistakes, and overcome them, and hopefully learn from them as well. But to do that, coming out on top is a good thing.
Worry check. The General gives you a break.
Yeah, hot water in that.
A break from your car estimate. We got you covered, Bumblebee. For a great low rate, go with the General.
I have a secret. Potbelly will make literally any sandwich I order into a wrap.
Ma'am? We do that for everyone. Introducing new Potbelly wraps. Fewer carbs and even more protein. Potbelly. We bring the hot.
The Washington Wizards issue scoring against Milwaukee. They've reached 120 points in 10 of their last 21 meetings. Tonight's injury report is brought to you by Jason Boscola Injury Lawyers. We told you about Sarl with the adductor, No Trey Johnson, Corey Gispert, and Sharif Cooper out of the lineup. Tonight's officials: James Williams, crew chief, 16th season. Brian Kogan, referee in his 17th, and Danica Morudi, in her 4th year. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for the Wizards. Brian Key will have his veterans, C.J. McCollum and Chris Middleton, along with Marvin Bagley III, in for Alex Sarr, Keyshawn George, and Bilal Coulibaly. While for the Milwaukee Bucks, they'll with Rollins, Green, Porter Jr., Miles Turner, and Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Yeah, it's unfortunate turn of events there in Indiana after Thanksgiving. Some guys still sleep at the wheel, I would say.
Well, this is an opportunity to wake up this week. You got a lot of games, a lot of opportunities. The fadeaway is good by Giannis. And there's a steal by Porter Jr. Easy dunk on the other end as Washington commits the turnover. Early three-point lead for the Bucks. Milwaukee team really struggled this year, trying to just figure out kind of who they are, getting some players acclimated to new roles. Pull up mid-range jumper by CJ, counted in the foul. Nearly got that turnover. Good defense by Keyshawn. Bilal trying to stay physical with Giannis as Giannis wins that battle.
Hey, listen, all you can do is tip your cap on that. That was excellent defense. Just better off.
Dad, what's so clean?
Chris Middleton.
What's so clean?
To the tune of when you asked me, hey, is he going to get his jersey retired? Is Miles Turner
I
not
was
down
someone
there?
to
The reaction from the
hot
crowd
shower.
will let you know that.
Let's just say Chris's return to Milwaukee was a little bit better than Miles Turner. Giannis trying to get a post-up opportunity on George. And count the bucket.
Hey, get back. Get back.
I said, look at
Hey,
that.
you saw Jim Jackson the other day arguing. I mean, you would have started that right now.
Too early. Nice notes there. Mid-range middle. Miles Turner straight on three. Good. That's what he does.
We just start mixing in some mix. They're 1 for 5 for 3. Oh, got him.
CJ just blowing right past AJ Green. And now it's a guarded by Bagley.
See, that's what.
Swinging it over to one of the hottest shooters in the league, AJ Green. Came in shooting. Here's Middleton. Mid-post. Head face. That's a fat move there into the body of Gary Trent Jr.
It seems like Chris Middleton is just treating this like a glorified practice. He's just a second squad, but still with Milwaukee, right?
Exactly. Swing out to Trent Jr. Splash.
And the result are usually fakes. Yeah, that's 4 for 5 from 3 already tonight, Chris.
Here's Giannis. And scores over Chris Middleton, best man at the play. Giannis takes a seat and steps across the rim.
Shift, 6'7".
Harden has 5 points. 7 minutes. Tristan's push shot is good on the baseline. Tristan will get a steady dose tonight. As we told you, Alex Starr will not play against the Bucks nor tomorrow night in Philly, dealing with an abductor. Here's Bobby, 5 of 6 from downtown. That was definitely a point of emphasis going into this game. Tristan with some hands.
See, Cam just said rest of the attack. He usually